here we go into the Little Cherry Forest, and we only have 2 weeks on our adventure and over 800 square miles to go. Oh, and right on your right-hand side are 2 different animals. In the top right corner is a yellow-backed tiger, a shy little animal, native to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And that larger animal to your right is the okapi, the only known relative of the
Zebra.
The giraffe, actually. A lot of people think zebra, but in fact it is the only genetic relative of the giraffe. The okapi wasn't even discovered until 1901 by the Western world. Before that, it was considered a mythical creature. Oh, coming around the corner here, friends, is a watering hole on your left-hand side. But as we turn around this watering hole, you're going to see the tallest stork in all of Africa on your right-hand side. That is a saddle-billed stork coming up on our right-hand side, standing at 5 feet tall. Oh, wow. To our left is a black rhinoceros. That black rhino weighs up to 3,000 pounds. It can charge up to 35 miles an hour.
Birds. Which birds are the
Wow.
back?
Now, unfortunately, there's less than 5,000 black rhinos in the world today. They've been hunted to near extinction by poachers for their horns. Their horns are actually made out of keratin, just like your hair and fingernails. Now, sadly, my friends, a lot of animals all around the world, not just the black rhinos, have fallen victim to poaching. So, poaching is a topic you're going to be hearing a lot about today. Now, keep your eyes on the lookout. You never know what's going to come around the corner. Lots of different animals call this place their home, including a lot of antelope species, which unfortunately have been fallen victim to the bushmeat crisis, the illegal hunting and sale of their meat. Oh, but to your left are 2 different antelope species. The larger of the 2, the tan-colored ones, are the greater kudu, the second tallest antelope in the world. Further back are the bongos, nicknamed the ghosts of the forest. They are rarely seen. But we're going to move swiftly out of the forest and head on down to the Safi River. And it's down in the Safi River where we typically see sightings of the hippopotamus. Now, hippos, my friend, they spend the majority of their days under the water, holding their breath about 5 to 8 minutes at a time. They spend so much time under the water, they're nicknamed the river horse. But they spend so much time in the water because they like to protect their sensitive skin from the sun. Now, just because you don't see a hippo does not mean they're not there. But very closely. Now, coming up on our left, you might see more sightings of the hippos. Oh, yep. And you'll also see all sorts of these birds, including the pink-backed pelican. And as large as the pink-backed pelicans are, they're the smallest of all 7 pelican species. But to our left is one of these hippopotamus. And they weigh up to 5,500 pounds, eating about 150 pounds of food each and every day. That black bird with the white chest on the second island there is a white-breasted cormorant, an aquatic bird that swims underwater. Oh, but lots of different birds call this area their home. In addition to those pelicans, there's vultures, egrets, ibis, herons, cranes, and even the white-faced whistling duck. Everyone's favorite duck. Oh, but very peaceful in this area. Lots of peaceful waterfalls, very tranquil. Oh my goodness, friends. To our left are the Nile crocodile. They can snap their bones of just about any animal, including humans. So do make sure you're safely seated. In fact, they can run about 10 miles an hour. Our truck only goes 8 miles an hour. So before they invite us to lunch, let's get out of here. They're always looking for a handout, especially from row 2. Or was it row 3? But before we find out, let's get out of here. Instead, we're going to head over to a completely different environment altogether. But I know y'all didn't come on a safari to see a bunch of animals. I know, in fact, that you came on here to see a bunch of trees. So at this moment, I'd like to point out the best tree of them all. To your right, a baobab tree. They're nicknamed the Upside Down Tree due to their strange appearance. In fact, they can live up more than 2,000 years in total. But they can grow fruit on their branches when they do grow leaves. But here it is, friends. The Serengeti grasslands, which spread across hundreds of kilometers here in East Africa, and is home to some of our favorite animals like giraffes, elephants, lions, and everyone's favorite antelope, the bontebok. But this is the wild Africa we are working incredibly hard to protect, although that's becoming increasingly difficult as these lands have been destroyed by everyday humans like you and I. Human population growth is one of the growing concerns facing these animals all around the world. And as these animals lose their natural habitats, they're finding it harder and harder to survive in the wild. Although, that is why reserves like this one are reintroducing lost species onto the reserve, like spotted hyenas. In fact, there's been hyenas spotted in the pride lands here, especially in areas like on our left-hand side, where they like to hang out in the corners of the rocky areas. The spotted hyena are the largest of all three hyena species. And in fact, hyenas are part of their own species called the hyenidae, not the canine like a lot of people think. In fact, hyenas are much more closely related to the cat. But as you can see, you don't really see them this time of day because they are much more nocturnal. Usually though, you can hear a hyena before you see them. They make noises ranging from a maniacal giggle to a haunting whooping sound. But that's probably for the best. We don't want to mess around with hyenas who hunt the majority of all their food. But what I do see are these termite mounds on either side of us, created by termite saliva, dung, and mud. They can be as hard as concrete and store millions of termites on the inside who utilize them as an underground fortress and city. But to the giraffes and elephants of the reserve, they are simply scratching posts. And speaking of those elephants, if you notice all these fallen trees in the area, you can think the elephants, they are kind of the troublemakers of the reserve, knocking down the trees and stomping down the grass. And in even more urban areas, they are known to destroy roads altogether, but luckily for us, these are some of the finest roads I've ever driven across. Whew, very smooth. Oh, but friends, coming up on our right-hand side, up on the hill there, are the white bearded wildebeest. And they have the largest migration of any animal in the world. Millions of them cross over these lands every year during the annual migration season. In fact, they are constantly on the move because they are an easy target for predators. So, a newborn baby wildebeest has about 15 minutes after it's born to learn how to run. Otherwise, its mother very well might leave it behind forever. But out here, it is the survival of the fittest. Only the strongest animals survive. Now, wildebeest get their name from the Afrikaans word, which means a wild beast. Although, locally here in Africa, we call them the gnu, spelled G-N-U, based on the grunty noise they make. They kind of make a new sound. Who knew? But I guess you learn something new every day. Oh my goodness, friends, up ahead, I see a tower of Maasai giraffes. Oh boy. Maasai giraffes are one of the tallest of all 9 giraffe species, and they can grow 18 to 20 feet tall. Now, looks like we're going to get a closer view up ahead. Now, these appear to be Maasai giraffes. Based on their irregular jagged spot pattern, all 9 giraffe species have a different spot pattern on them that make them distinguishable from another. But if you're a fan of baby giraffes, in that tower of giraffes, you can see some baby giraffes within there. And those baby giraffes range between 5 to 7 months old, but they're already well over 7 feet tall. But look to your left here, you get a better look at those trio of babies. Now, in addition to being incredibly tall, giraffes have spectacular eyesight, and that allows them to see from great distances away. giving them a huge advantage against predators. In fact, giraffes are one of the most observant animals of the animal kingdom. Other animals even utilize giraffes as a safety signpost. So if a giraffe flees from an area, you should probably follow suit. Now, giraffes can mobilize their necks as a weapon, swinging them at their predators. But they also use them against each other during dominance displays. That is called necking. You'll usually see two alpha males go at it with their necks, swinging them violently at each other. Kind of a shocking image to those who view the giraffe as a peaceful creature. Now, friends, if memory serves me correct, this area is known as Monkey Point, named after the troop of mandrills that have adopted this place as its home. Now, mandrills are the most colorful and largest species of monkey in the world. In fact, you can see one to our left. That is the alpha male of this mandrill troop, and he is the largest and meanest and most aggressive of all these mandrills. But those markings on their face and body establishes an hierarchy within their troop.
Do they carry lions?
Now, often you'll see them grooming each other. Social grooming is a common socialization found with these monkeys that help bond them and build trust. Now, sadly, the mandrill is a victim of deforestation, so they are considered endangered today. Now, enough of this monkey business, friends. Let's head on over to elephant country. We're going to take the right in the road here and head on over. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to tell you this, friends, but the road we normally take to elephant country appears to be completely destroyed. Wow. But Hakuna Matata, no worries. We're going to take this detour. Looks like those troublemaking elephants took their toll on that road, but we're about to find out what's around the corner. Uh-oh. Friends, it's much worse than I imagine. It's an old abandoned bridge. Kind of looks like the ones in New Jersey, but we're gonna go pulley, very, very slowly. Oh, we're just gonna need some faith, trust, and some duct tape. Oh boy. It's a long way down. No way we'd survive. But you know what they say. Children first. Luckily, we all survived. Now, if any warden asks you about bridges we encountered, well, nothing happened. So let's keep going, friends. Oh, up ahead, I see some elephants. And based on the fact that we're in Africa right now, there's a really, really good chance that those are African elephants, the largest of any elephant species. But elephants are becoming increasingly difficult to see in the wild because many of them have lost their habitats and even their lives over coltan, a metal found in cell phones, laptops, and other products. They've also been still hunted today due to poaching of their ivory tusks. Oh, but friends, look to your left. It looks like there's a whole herd of elephants, including some elephants fighting. Oh boy.
Oh, they're fighting.
My money is on the one on the right. Oh, looks like that little one to our left wants to join in on the fun. Juvenile elephants sure are playful. In fact, elephants have the second longest childhood of any animal, up to 15 years. The only animal with a longer childhood are humans, who have a childhood ranging about 18 to 30 years. But coming around here, there's lots more elephants to the left and to the right. Welcome to elephant country.
Look at that.
Oh, but the one on the far right, you'll notice, is sadly missing a tusk. But luckily for that elephant, not all elephants are lucky enough to escape the terrors caused by humans who put their greed above the lives of these beautiful creatures. Now to our left is this flamboyance of greater flamingos.
There's tags on their legs.
And the flamingos are often getting their pink color from their aquatic diets consisting of brine, shrimp, krill, and algae. And the greater flamingo is the largest flamingo of them all, and also the lightest pink in color. Coming up to our left are the Grant zebras and some Montabak. The Grant zebra is one of several species of the zebra, and the Grant zebra has a black fur with white stripe. And Oku zebra has the same stripe pattern. Now, these are an aggressive zebra. They have been known to bite their predators and even kick them in the face. This is the lions that have had their jaw broken over a swift kick in the face by a zebra. Now these brown animals over to our left are the Montabak. A rare sight to see in the wild. At one point there was only 17 in the world. And to your right you'll actually see the white rhino. And at one point there was only 50 of them left in the world. Both the Montabak and the white rhinos to our right are conservation success stories. In fact, the white rhino's population is now sitting at about 12,000, showing the sheer importance of conservation and the power it can have on these animals' lives. In fact, reserves like this one have been able to take our rhinos and introduce them back into the wild to help repopulate the species. Oh, but friends, don't make any sudden movement. To our left are a coalition of cheetahs up on the hill there. Cheetahs can run about 70 miles an hour.
But they can't keep their speed.
They are also one of the few large cats to hunt during the day. But they're not as strong as other large cats, so they usually target smaller animals like Montabak, Thompson gazelles, springboks, small human children. But on the top right corner there are several more cheetahs. And much like your small house cat, cheetahs are pretty much afraid of anything that is larger than them, including Anatolian shepherd dogs, which a lot of farmers have trained to scare away cheetahs. But that's one way farmers have helped cheetahs be protected as well as their own livestock. But straight ahead is a Kopi rock formation, a common gathering spot for large African lions. Lions will lay on top of these rock structures for hours at a time, and they sleep about 20 hours of the day and are much more active at night. That's actually when the female lionesses do the majority, if not all, of their hunting. While they do the hunting, the males will stay at home and protect the pride. But the pride of lions consists of female lions, their offspring, and one male, two at most. Oh, there they are, friends. Right on the edge of the rock here, including a male lion. You can see that beautiful mane, which darkens in color as they mature. There appears to be two females there and a male. Oh boy. Now the Swahili word for lion is Simba. But unfortunately, hunters like lions and cheetahs have become the hunted, as poachers have hunted lions, cheetahs, and other large cats throughout the world for their fur coats, sadly, showing that not even predators are immune from the dangers poachers have inflicted on them.
What's that?
Now to your left you can see a warthog roaming about. Warthogs have razor-sharp tusks, which are used for digging and also defense purposes. Now the Swahili word for lion is Simba, but the Swahili word for warthog is not Pumbaa. So do not call a warthog Pumbaa unless you know for sure that is their name, because Pumbaa means little foolish one, so they might get offended if you call them that. Oh, to our left are some ostrich eggs, the largest egg of any animal. They weigh about 3 to 5 pounds, and they belong to the ostrich, the largest bird in the world. So keep your eyes out for any ostrich. You never know where they're gonna be. But remember, the ostrich is always watching. They have the largest eyes of any animal in the world. In fact, Their eyes are much larger than their brains, but they use those large eyes as well as their long necks to keep an eye out for predators. Ooh. This area is known as Magadi Glen, home to all these wonderful geysers. And Magadi comes from the Swahili word for geyser, but if you look very carefully through the trees to your right, you also might be able to notice the scimitar-horned oryx. And they're very shy, and you can hardly blame them. They were hunted to the brink of extinction by human poachers who hunted them for their horns, and unfortunately they have been formally declared extinct in the wild.